Hell no, I got shit to do.
Me too. We are live. Hello, everyone. It is me, Dick CT, with a fellow wrestling fan here, Jeff, aka Wireless Block. Say hello.
Hello.
Well, the CCS fan stream is here live in full effect, and well, 2016 was a very interesting year, and let's sit back and talk a bit about the wrestling side of it. And, let's start off with the big dog, the WWE, and another year and another Royal Rumble. What would you call the Royal Rumble again? With the but at least it was actually everyone liked it this year than previous years.
Yeah, not a whole lot of like, damn it, phone. Not a whole lot of like drowning boos for Roman Reigns.
But the way they did it, I'm just
Yeah,
Roman like this.
yeah.
They wanted him to be such a badass. They wanted him to be such
Mhm.
he's gonna be so take people out and guess what they did? No, he's just gonna go back and go to sleep for like 2 or 3 hours and then come back at the end because that's one way to
Yeah,
build your
that
badass
was.
baby face.
Yeah, yeah, I know. When I think of a badass, I think of somebody who stubs his toe and decides, oh my gosh, I need to go to the back and have my foot looked at. It might be amputated or something, and then he just comes running back in. Oh my gosh, yes, I feel so invigorated. That long stint in the back was just what I needed. And he starts beating the hell out of everybody, and just like, oh, fucking weak.
Yeah,
So weak.
and the production values when you had him looking like sitting around with his derp face when AJ Styles came out.
Yeah.
Oh, but
looking for just looking like it's looking like he went to Subway and ordered the chicken club sandwich and someone gave him veggie. He's like, what's this? What's this shit?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. What's going on, huh? And just, but it was the production crew. It was the production crew had to leave and
Oh yeah,
everything else. So
yeah.
it's that. But I don't blame Roman. Roman got too much. Because Roman this year it wasn't really a good year for him. And he started out the end of the last year so well. People were cheering him on, and then everything just completely crapped out.
Well,
Yeah.
it seemed like they finally got it with him. It seemed like they finally understood. Just don't try and force him on us as like this great big badass or anything like that. Just just let him be. Let him do his thing. I mean, give him a little bit of a personality, and we'll give him a shot. And he was doing okay up until the Royal Rumble when they did the whole, let's take him out of the match for about a good 30 minutes to 45 minutes or whatever, or however long. And I get he's like, you want to protect him, but that's not the way to protect him, honey. That's a good way to get his ass booed for a good solid year straight.
And even worse, you had Hunter being cheered over him, and then you had WrestleMania, which, oh boy, that show.
Oh yeah, that dumpster fire. That was bizarre. That was just so bizarre from the beginning of the match to the end.
That just yeah.
And I'm not just talking about the beginning of the match, but the thing with Stephanie and the guys in the robes and shit. And she's
you mean the Red Triangle game? The Red Triangle game from Batman Returns. Nice for them to get work finally after all those years.
Yeah, and just her and this dominatrix / Tina Turner from Thunderdome outfit, just like we own all of you. You are the weak. We are the strong. Blah 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 blah.
It's like she's trying to channel Rita Repulsa. Honestly, she looks more like Rita Repulsa than the Power Rangers movie Rita Repulsa does.
Yeah, honestly, if someone got Stephanie McMahon to play Rita Repulsa, it would be perfect casting.
At this point, yes.
Yeah, she has the attitude, she has the voice, most notably the voice.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, she has those great meltdowns. And also the event itself at WrestleMania, it was all all the matches were pretty much terrible other than the ladder match was a typical ladder match. In fact, here's the one thing. There was only one babyface that actually won, real pure babyface that won at WrestleMania. You had Zack Ryder of all people winning.
I know, and and honestly, I thought that was great. It was out of nowhere. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody expected it. It was an actual. They like to throw around the word WrestleMania moment. Yeah, like it's a football or something, and they go WrestleMania moment, WrestleMania moment. This is a WrestleMania moment all the time. It's like no, some of them aren't WrestleMania moments. But Zack Ryder winning the IC title in the ladder match was an actual WrestleMania moment. I mean, especially when he had his dad going up there, and his dad was sporting some really big fucking guns there. But
he looked more badass than James Ellsworth, but we'll get to him.
Yeah. We'll get to him. But yeah, it was actually a really nice moment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that's something that was missing throughout the entire show for the most part is that nice moments. The show was just completely aroused with the bad guys winning, mostly meaningless matches. Jericho beating AJ in a meaningless match.
Yeah, I did not like Jericho beating AJ at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and meaningless match that went nowhere. You had the New Day lose to the League of Nations for no reason.
Yeah, it was a non-title. I mean, it was a non-title match. For one thing, it made the New Day, who had with the Bootios entrance coming out. That was
with the Saiyan Dragon Ball Z look.
Yes,
and Cole trying to just basically, oh, that's Vegeta. I'm like, dude, can you just stop?
It's like no, Cole, shut up. You can't nerd. You aren't.
He is the nerd, but yet no.
It's one of those weird things where he is a nerd compared to the wrestlers, but not really a nerd when compared to other, to guys who like anime and pop cultural ephemera and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was cringy. Then again, Brian Saxton was worse, but then again,
Byron Saxton. Oh man.
Yeah, and after that match, you had, I think, what was that match? I mean, the other match was.
The thing is, after that, you had Austin and Foley and Shawn come out, and
it was a nice moment, but again,
you had compared to the older guys, because they were. You had three old white guys coming down to beat up the four guys that the three young African American guys couldn't beat up, and what happens? And what happens after that? They try to share beer. They try and get the old guys twerking, and Austin stuns Xavier, and everyone goes home feeling eh.
Well, it got actually. The sad part is that when those guys came out, they actually have it was actually the most. I mean, honestly, I think it was probably one of the biggest cheers out the entire night. How sad is that they actually got the biggest cheers?
Yes.
That's not a problem with
Yeah, it's really terrible. It's sad. It's sad. But,
and then you had the whole no holds barred street fight. It's like the most PG, blandest.
Oh, that weak ass shit. Get that. That was just a bitch match.
Oh yeah, and Dean Ambrose looking like a complete geek, and Dean Ambrose saying, "Oh, we could have had more," but Brock Lesnar said, "No, I got to work out my UFC fight, so screw that. I win, move on, and have him dominate in the UFC, but then get some his
You
get caught
know,
with illegal substance, and now he can't be in the UFC for quite a long while."
and you know it serves him right. It
uh,
serves him fucking right.
oh yes,
You know what? That just makes what happened with Goldberg at Survivor Series all the funnier.
yeah.
And I know we'll probably get into that later, but I actually liked how Survivor Series went. I was just like, oh my god, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they actually went for that. But considering what had happened the last time they met, over 10 years ago, and the utter shit show that match was. And on top of that, I had heard that Goldberg had like bruised ribs or something, so he couldn't like work a long match anyway. So all of that coming together into that story, which now has Brock coming from behind, which is a different kind of element for him, because he's not used to being the guy in the underdog in the equation. He's the beast. He's Brock Lesnar.
And then he's just now, he just got murked badly by Goldberg again. So he's basically up two. But then it just really is funny. And Dean Ambrose, well, he rebounded, and then later, but I'll talk about that. But then probably, like I said, this is the match of the night. I love the WrestleMania 32. Charlotte defeating Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, even though it was there was some a little shenanigans and botchy but when they calm down and slow it down a bit, the match was really good, even though Charlotte won, and the women's title, which honestly fine, but again, it just was the same match multiple times with Ric Flair winning over helping Ric Flair. But overall, a fun match. And quite honestly, probably saw its best match on the roster. And sadly, I did not see anything coming close to any. I gotta say, the women's division, especially on Raw, I gotta talk about this. Charlotte, I'm sorry, I just can't. It's just me. It's just like I just don't care for Charlotte or Sasha Banks anymore.
I would probably attribute that to burnout, especially. I would say burnout's a factor, because mainly it's just been almost laser focused on Charlotte and Sasha with the past, the past 5, almost 6 title changes, include being just a part of their story.
Yeah, it just continued, and honestly, the matches to me were some were decent, and some, like the Hell in a Cell, were just bad, botchy, and terrible. And you're like, yeah, I don't want to see any. Like you said, this is the first time. It should be like, honestly, the first time the women in the Hell in a Cell match, and I'm like, after that, I'm like, it should be the last time. Like the extreme, it's like, to me, it's like the Extreme Elimination Chamber. It was like, yeah, you know what, we don't want to talk about that no more. It was like that, and then honestly, the 30-minute Iron Man. I don't count 30-minute Iron Man matches, because I would say, if you want to do an Iron Person match, make it an hour. Make it an hour and see how long these girls can go.
Well, you have to remember, this is WWE. They're going to. They may give them more opportunities, but they'll still try and water it down just a little bit, because they're women. And I mean, if it were the man, the big manly men, then it would have been an hour. Shit, probably would have been 2 hours. But since they're women, I mean, they do want to give them a chance. But they're going to essentially, it's like allowing someone to go bowling, but they're gonna put up the little bumpers on the end to make sure that they get a nice clean shot to the bowling pins.
Oh yeah, pretty much. But it's I think the women's on Raw at least has been a complete another afterthought, and to me one of the negatives of Raw. But we'll get to that later. My true
Mm-hmm.
thoughts about it.
Mm-hmm.
Gaijin Goomba's going to MagFest. That's nice.
All right.
That's really unrelated. Speaking of things that are unrelated and pointless, Taker versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. Only thing that was interesting was the leap off the stage, leap off the thing, and Shane almost killing himself right in front of his kids.
It was all building to that point. We all knew it. We all fucking knew he was going to get on the top of that fucking cage and just almost commit suicide right in front of us. It was just it's just like, oh my God, why?
And I love the fact that it's the Booker, it's the promoter's son that says, I love how it's like they're building Shane up like he is more dangerous than any of your competition ever, Undertaker. I'm like, yeah, because Brock Lesnar was a walk in the park, right? Brock Lesnar was.
He was just a giant potato and Spanx.
Oh, goodness gracious. And even worse, I'm going to say this.
But the guy who can, go ahead. But the guy who does like this in the corner to a bunch of indie wrestlers. Oh, I mean security guards. That guy. You got to watch out for that guy.
Oh, goodness. Those terrible punches, which, again, his punches, his DDT, and his sharpshooter. I say this, if you watch the match, you will know. I will no longer give crap to The Rock for having the worst sharpshooter.
Yeah.
It is Shane McMahon. Shane O'Mac has the absolute garbage sharpshooter, garbage punches, garbage MMA moves. I'm like, just stop. It was embarrassing. That match was.
Well, he wasn't. The thing is, he was enthusiastic. Back when he was younger, he was enthusiastic about it. He went after it. I mean, he wasn't very good, but he went after it, and that's something for him. He took chances, he took risks. He wasn't afraid to mix it up. That's fine, but you would think that you would think that he would have gotten at least, if not at least a little bit more training into it. But he has been gone for a good long time and hasn't been, and I imagine hasn't been in a ring or hasn't trained in a good long time either. So it was, and then you have Taker, who, while still good, is slowing down so much in his old age. Please don't kill me. So,
okay, just act like the Undertaker's about to come after you right now. I'm like, dude, you have at least, by the time he's like taking down his doing his entrance, you can probably be halfway across the state line, man. You probably like you're already halfway gone. So don't worry about him, basically, that sort of thing. Unless he teleports, then you're screwed. But anyway, then, oh goodness. Yeah, at least there was a positive. Corbin winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and he's actually been pretty good on SmackDown.
He's doing pretty well.
Other than this whole forgettable feud with Dolph Ziggler, who honestly, Dolph Ziggler,
they're best of nothing series.
Oh yes, and trying to have SmackDown build up Ziggler as the next dude. I'm like, no, you're not. It's Ziggler yelling into the mic, which none of the wrestlers have seemed to have forgotten that you don't need to do the whole Mick Foley yell into the mic. I'm so passionate because that's how passionate I am. Because that's how everything has to be. I have to yell and scream and cry and everything else.
That lets us know this is serious. Don't you know how serious this is? Because I am raising my voice and speaking to you aggressively.
That's pretty much the entire promo. That's pretty much from Adolf Ziggler, Mick Foley, Sami Zayn, and everything else promo. Also, we had The Rock beat up the Eric Rowan in a squash match. Who cares? And you had Triple H versus Roman Reigns, and that was just horrible. And then the WrestleMania 32 was horrible, but and I thought, it couldn't get any worse. Then you had SummerSlam, which honestly was probably a bigger box office bomb since probably, Independence Day. I would want to watch Independence Day resurgence over that.
Honestly, I don't even remember a whole lot about SummerSlam.
It is. SummerSlam was a completely. The only thing you can remember, say Finn Balor got hurt, and the crowd basically crapping on the belt. In fact, funny enough, there was an interview with Finn Balor saying, "Oh my God," they were chanting Balor. He thought they were chanting Balor sucks. I'm like, did the crowd just turn on me? He thought that the crowd. No, the people. I have some misgivings with Finn Balor because I did watch him NXT. It got a little there was nothing else to his character other than just dressing up in face paint. And I'm like, you had to do some more with him. Because honestly, the face paint and everything is cool as that nice little type of going into the other type of dark side of himself. But every time else, he looks like just honestly, if you want to have a description of a vanilla midget, that's pretty much Finn Balor. No offense, but dang, when you premiere with that black jacket and a veil, I'm like, dude, I'm like, no, get that makeup on every night because he looks so.
He looked like an Irish Fonzie.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I just don't see that whole, badass type of stuff. I mean, he got the face paint, that's nice, but it should be going more. I mean, Jeff Hardy has that type of charisma, good or ill, and you need to have that type of charisma, that look of people like, why is he going to that dark space, that dark place, that dark inner place? He should be acting like more heelish or something like that, doing things that are like, okay, he's doing all the stuff that he usually does, but with more anger, more avarice, do more like switch up his moveset. I believe that he should do something like that.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe add more power moves to his demon side, I guess.
Yes, because if he did get hurt, I still don't think Raw would actually be improving in the ratings as what it is right now, because Raw has been getting hurt, and it's not helping. Because even with Kevin Owens, the whole Kevin Owens show, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of Kevin Owens. I hate saying that because I do like his work his previous work as Kevin Steen. He can actually do all this stuff, but him on the main roster, I'm like, at this point, the Kevin Owens show needs to be canceled.
Actually, to be honest, I think it needs a retooling. It needs a fresh coat of paint. It needs, honestly, I think the mistake here was putting the belt on Owens. They should have what they should have done, and I'm pretty sure someone else said this, and I'm probably going to get shit from my friends about this, but they should have put the belt on Jericho and have him be the cowardly heel, the whiny heel champion that Owens is right now, and Owens is the one learning from him and learning how to be more of a heel, more of a bad guy on the main roster because Jericho's been there before.
Oh yeah, but I'll do you one better. When Triple H actually did all that stuff, I would have said, you know what? He should have done that turn, but also he should have helped Reigns out, because I think Reigns as the as this douchebag, like, I don't give a crap attitude heel, which I think he can portray pretty well when he's not in the WWE cameras and not doing the whole script and everything else. I think he could be really good. But then again, sadly, he will probably cheer because of that.
Roman Reigns turning heel. It probably would be the only way he could get cheered these days is if he decided to just completely turn heel.
What does that say about the wrestling fans? A good guy who can help people out and be like the Hogan Cena. That's bad, but him being a complete dick to people and doing this type of stuff, oh, that's great. That's cheer. I will buy more tickets, sir. I will buy more his merchandise. I'm like, it's odd.
It's a conundrum. It's a conundrum when it comes to the typical face heel paradigm.
Yeah, I mean, heck, you look at say what's out, like for example, the whole broken Matt Hardy thing. That
Yeah,
was when you look at that type of thing. I mean, that thing is a total heel's camp, but it is blown up into something.
it's entertaining as hell, though.
It is. It is the
I
most.
if I mean, watching I mean, I haven't seen the most recent one, but I saw the final deletion and I saw the one after that. Both of them were just very entertaining, just complete and utter batshit crazy.
Yeah,
Embraced its batshit craziness and said, "Yes, this is what you're getting. This is what we're putting forward. We make no apologies. We pull no punches. This is a dilapidated boat."
or or you just have this whole, they just go for all in on it, and
Oh yeah. The commitment on hand here, from Hardy and from Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. I was like, I think I've said this on Twitter, but Matt Hardy is just this is the best he's ever been.
Yeah, and people called him the boring Hardy. They remember people called him that, and I'm like, wow, this is great stuff from Matt Hardy and the whole the Senior Benjamin, Vanguard one. I mean, every single one of this. I mean, this character is to me one of the stuff that actually one of the reasons I actually still watch TNA. And actually, the other reason I think is Bobby Lashley. I think he has really grown and I'm sad that he's not a champion though. But I would say this about Lashley: I'm like, this is a dude you will believe because I honestly think if TNA did shutter its doors and Lashley was available, WWE should be and whatever WWE should have signed Lashley, even though they could have. I would put him on the main roster and have him beat like Owens like quickly. And just have him because honestly, that would be one big shakeup because Lashley could be and play the same role he's playing right now. On this like I could beat you up, I could do anything else. I'm a two-sport athlete type of dude, and because honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, he's been kicking butt since 2014, and he was probably he was acting more like what Lesnar should be instead of because Lesnar was that he's champion but he's not there, but Lashley. He kicked butt and was doing that all pretty much every week, just spearing dudes, murking dudes, and like it didn't matter who they were, he just laid them out. With MVP as a mouthpiece, but then again, that was my hope and when the rumors that John Cena was that whole United States challenge and everything. I was like, I heard rumors that Lashley might be. I'm like, that would have been really cool if MVP showed up and then saying he has another dude come out. Lashley comes out and just and you have MVP and
Lashley
just
completely murks him.
And then continues the whole thing, the U.S. Championship, and that would have been great. But it didn't happen like that. We had Alberto Del Rio, which oh my gosh, Alberto Del Rio in 2016. Wow.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, it's like not only Alberto Del Rio, but with Dutch Mantel,
Mex America.
Yeah, Mex America.
And then
that lasted all of 3 weeks.
Yes, and then the League of Nations, and he just said, screw that. He was on SmackDown for like a couple minutes, and then he left SmackDown again. And I'm like, and he left the WWE again. And this time, poor Paige.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Paige, this young woman who, honestly had the injuries and then getting suspended multiple times. Yeah, and she's off suspension now, but she's going to be married to Del Rio, and I'm like,
and all the stuff going on with her and Del Rio, and her career being up in the air with WWE, and
she got two. She's like really young though, like 24, 25. I'm like, she got hit with the fame too quick. Yeah. That's something when I knew when she became the diva, I was like, this is way too fast for her. She's too young. She probably can't handle that type of pressure. And that's what happens. I think that she should have. I honestly think she shouldn't have gotten. I think she should have stayed in NXT for like another 6 or 7 months or something like that. And you build it up, and then you build her. I think you have her bring herself in NXT. Have her come around. Not the way they did with the Divas Evolution, but somehow the WWE has done the same thing with the cruiserweights, which I don't know how they can actually make that possible. They basically just said, how the Diva Revolution was completely garbage, and people are now slowly because how they basically introduced them with no really character development or anything else. They say, hey, there's 3 women here, like them, even though that always works.
Yeah.
But they said the same thing with the Cruiserweights, which had a great the Cruiserweight Classic, which I honestly love.
Amazing. Yeah, it was like the single best wrestling show, bar none, this year.
Yeah, I watched every second of it. I loved it. Even if there were wrestlers that I did really enjoy, the Mac, I really wish I hope he's still around. Maybe he's in NXT somewhere, but I liked his theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I feel so out of it because I haven't watched WWE since
random Finn Chan is random.
X days.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, people, and I welcomed another person from the CCS fans for the forums and everything else. So hopefully you'll join. This is Finn Chan. Say hello.
What's up?
Okay, and we're actually talking about the Cruiserweight Classic actually. And something I wish W would do is actually have more do the same thing for the ladies. You agree that like in 2017 they are doing something for the UK, which I don't know what in the world. Did you see the title, the UK title of what Writer's Block? Did you see that?
I saw it. It's I'm okay. Like, it's okay.
It looks better than the Universal title.
Yeah, it looks a little bit more. It looks more regal than regal. It looks more regal than the Universal title. Yeah.
I'm like,
well, of course it is the UK title, and UK is where Regals live.
Yeah, Lord Regents and all that stuff. But it's frustrating. The Universal title looks like a fruit roll up, and then and I know they're trying to make it red because it's Raw, but can they do something better with it? Make it a little more classy. That's all I ask.
Yeah, especially with like the WWE title, they didn't just slap blue paint on it. They it's the WWE title. They weren't. It's not just the SmackDown title.
It's the it is something they should be doing. If we want to make and the Bland Sprit, which it's all started because somehow after Shane McMahon lost at WrestleMania, and the crowd. I'm still in a bit of shock about how this happened. And I'm not really shocked because wrestling, that right there proves that in WrestleMania, nothing mattered. Mm-hmm. Nothing really mattered. When he just said, Vincent, screw it, let you can run it Raw. I'm like, huh?
If you can run Raw for 1 week, maybe I'll let you in. You let him stay. Of course he did. Of course he fucking did.
They wrote themselves in a corner. And I'm like, it would have been better because they're saying, The Undertaker might not, he might not like watching WrestleMania and everything else. I'm like, seriously? The Undertaker I'm surprised he's still around. I mean, heck, I thought he would, personally, I thought he would retire after the whole, streak ending. And, and he came back in this year saying, well, WrestleMania will no longer define me. I'm like, yeah, and then he just disappeared.
It's like, okay, asshole, where have you been?
Well, last time I saw him, he was at the Cavs game. He was there for the first game of the season, and he's like,
yeah, and he hasn't been on WWE TV since talking to the Survivor Series, the SmackDown Survivor Series team.
Oh my gosh! So that's WWE in a nutshell. Basically, we could have all these great ideas, but yet we won't follow them up, or we'll follow them up on one of our 10,000 web series because that always works.
Or at the very least, we'll have this really great idea, but then we'll drink like a fifth of vodka and bang our head against the wall and just go from there.
Yeah.
Or they'll just drink the fifth of vodka and try to write the great idea.
Yeah, I think that's probably the reason why we have the whole Enzo and Rusev storyline.
I am so glad that things really don't change over the years that I haven't watched it, and the storylines are just as bad as they were when I did watch it.
Oh, it's gotten actually worse. In fact, this is not the first time. I'm surprised this hasn't gotten the whole Gooker of the Year, which sadly, it seems like Rusev might be a two-time winner because his storylines always seem to be evolved in these types. I don't know what Vince. I said this before in another podcast, and I'll say it again. Is that the Vince McMahon? It is a real life fan fiction of his. The WWE is real life fan fiction, and he wants these two people in real life to go. Like he thinks Rusev is too ugly for Lana, and he wants Lana to hook up with one of his main superstars that gives him a boner.
So basically, he's saying that Enzo gives him a boner.
I think so.
Well, which is
or maybe Cass. I don't know.
Well, which is weird because if you look at where it's been going, Enzo has been getting the shit kicked out of him left, right, and center. Almost, yeah.
Vince has been known to write storylines basically to punish wrestlers that have done something wrong to him. I mean, he did the same thing with Owen Hart. He wrote that storyline for him and just completely screwed him over because Owen Hart was complaining.
Well, yeah.
Vince is that petty. He is that petty.
Well, yeah, and remember, like either last year or early this year, Rusev and Lana announced their engagement and everything during that atrocious Summer Rae storyline.
Ziggler, Summer Rae,
yeah,
Rusev, Lana. Which at the end of the day, the match wasn't even when they had that match. It ended in a double count out, which that works, right? I mean, who wants finishers, match ending and decisive victories, right?
Yeah, just like, okay, we're just going to end this right here, and we're going to pretend this never happened.
Oh gosh, this show, I really am just sometimes, but you know what? I will say this in positive and Raw's defense. If you just ignore all the crap from Raw, and that's hard, they had done at least some good. I mean, Sheamus and Cesaro's tag team is decent. I like them.
Well, yeah, that's something where you can say that they took something that was like started out pretty good, the best of 7 match they had, ended in utter shit with the tie. And then Foley said, and then they did the thing with Foley making him a tag team, and that grew into something. That grew into something really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then continue what Finchan said, and there was actually a very good Sports Vice article talking about the Vince McMahon. Basically, he basically thinks he's like the day of. He doesn't think like 15 weeks ahead or 10 weeks ahead or even 5 weeks. He thinks the day. He thinks the first. He's like, you should act like he says every day. He thinks Raw. He just writes Raw there. He doesn't write a SmackDown. Doesn't think weeks ahead. It's just the same moment by moment, same thing that he did when he was back in the Attitude Era. Or even previous beyond that. He just continues to have this huge control that he's like this regional type of manager. Like thinking about the old territories, which you can't do that anymore.
Well, the thing with Vince that I've seen is that he, in his mind, if it worked in the 80s or if it worked at one point, it will always work, no matter when.
See, but the thing is that now he's gotten another form of audience, and that type of audience actually looks at the quality of the writing and the quality of the storyline. And if you have such huge continuity errors, they're going to call you out on it, and you're actually going to suffer.
Oh, they have suffered in the ratings department, not in the.
The thing is, I don't think he cares. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Because I know me and my ex-husband, we used to watch wrestling, WWE, all the time. We'd always watch Raw and we'd always watch SmackDown. It was just something that we did together. But when the storyline started getting a little crazy, and I honestly think what drew the line with my husband was that whole storyline before Chris Benoit died, where Vince blew himself up in a limo.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of crazy storyline that really got us getting out of WWE, and we actually started watching TNA, and we actually really enjoyed that one really well before it started doing the same thing WWE is doing.
When you're the march, when you're the leader, people want to say, "Hey, they just copy and paste." And trust me, TNA has done a lot of stupid stuff, this year. Including screwing over Billy Corgan, trying to. And then I don't know. Sometimes I sit and wonder how this company is still afloat. It is to me unbelievable.
It's the Rasputin of wrestling.
No matter how many times you try to do anything to it, it just keeps coming back for more. And I'm not making any of this up about how they have not paid up. They owe the state of Tennessee money, and Dixie Carter, for all of her insanity, somehow got another sugar daddy to help pay her out. First it was Corgan. Now, because I'm going to say this right now, if it wasn't for Billy Corgan, TNA Slammiversary this year would not have happened. Same as Bound for Glory 2. Even though honestly I say Bound for Glory was probably one of their best pay-per-views, I'll say it. I ordered it and I enjoyed it, especially the Great War. If you haven't seen that, man, y'all you should see it. It actually is more insanity, but yet it fits. They somehow worked around it. The whole live show and everything else and they added some of the Hardy charm to it, or broken Hardy charm. But yeah, they continue, and now they are owned by the Anthem Anaheim King Sports of streaming and everything. And it looks like, funny enough, it looks like Dixie Carter might be iced out entirely of the TNA.
Hallelujah.
Now, Anthem is now probably going to be running on January 1st. They're going to be pretty much the big kahunas of TNA, and they got a lot of debt to pay off. I mean, all this stuff. So, good luck for them.
They got debt to pay off. They got wrestlers to pay.
They got production crews to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, Billy Corgan at the end of the day might have dodged the bullet because he's because he's smart. He made some money. That money would have gone away quick if he would have took TNA by the horns.
Screw a bullet. He dodged a cruise missile.
I think he dodged pretty much that big bullet bill that Super Mario. Just he just pretty much dodged that. And also, speaking of things that were, things dodging bullets and everything, I gotta say that the WE, not that they're botching, but one of the big things I think were actually something that is hot positive. I'm ruining my segue, dang it. But one of the positive things that WE has did was SmackDown. SmackDown was relevant for the first time in how many years?
At least 5.
Yeah,
at least 5 years.
Yeah, SmackDown was
pretty much since they split.
Yeah,
SmackDown
since they got reintegrated after the first split.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Let's see.
I never liked it being two different things. I always liked it being one thing because then I had a good chance of seeing my favorite wrestler 2 times a week, but then it became 1 time a week and kind of bummed me out a little bit.
Well, it's the one thing I loved about SmackDown, the one thing I really, really loved about SmackDown is because of the characters got a lot room to grow. New people, new things happened to them. You saw what happened with AJ Styles. I mean, AJ Styles really grew. He not only beat John Cena once but twice. He rebounded. He really rebounded from WrestleMania and all the other feuds he had, Roman and such. Yeah. He became champion after Dean Ambrose, who honestly, I don't know. He got the championship, and I was with him, but maybe it was because that bad Ziggler match. And that terrible interview he had with Stone Cold Steve Austin, the podcast.
Yeah.
I think that killed him momentum for a long while, and I just didn't care. I wanted him to lose. I was rooting for AJ Styles to beat him so badly, and then I was so happy he won. He moved on, and then came Ellsworth. Oh God, Ellsworth.
it's strange how he came to such prominence so quickly. Although it had to have just been Vince and everybody going, "Wow, look at this guy! He's ugly as sin." No, in fact, I think he may be uglier than sin. Jesus Christ!
But
Like,
somehow,
where's his chin?
and with that terrible tattoo, he is like honestly the honest, like he feels like he's like the biggest tryhard of
He's a living red rooster.
yes, he is the legitimate living tryhard ever, and even better. Is that he was used, and then I was like, fine, it was comedy. I didn't, and then SmackDown. I don't know what it was, but they overindulged on Ellsworth.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, giving him 3 wins over AJ to try and mess with him and put him in the thing with Dean, and then the stupid heel turn at the end.
Colin Delaney,
TLC.
ladies and gentlemen, he is Colin Delaney, people.
Yeah, and then AJ just beats him with ease on SmackDown, and he is now finally mercifully relegated to the lower mid card, where he's apparently now got something going on with Carmella, of all things,
well,
of all people.
Yeah, and that's actually a good thing. I think that's, and funny enough, SmackDown has done a really, really good job of just building up, the women's division. They've done a really good job building up the women's division.
Especially with this sparse roster they have.
Yeah. And to me, even though Eva Marie has been, because she got wellness and she kind of appeared. In fact, the only time they did do anything with Eva Marie was that little spat with Mick Foley and Sami Zayn. The whole yelling.
Where Sammy basically just buried her completely beneath the earth.
And that was unfair, because Eva Marie at that time, I'm like, you know what? That's actually a good trade. In fact, Raw may have got a steal. Because Eva Marie, good look, and actually will bring some depth to the women's division, which definitely needs depth. So I'm like, yeah, and Raw and SmackDown gets at least someone at least can take down Miz, because they still have that. You can still have them have the Miz and Sami Zayn go after it. I'm like, that's good, and I'm like, fine. It's a mutual train. I'm like, nope. And then you have Sami Zayn and Mick Foley basically doing, I want second. What do you want? I want Braun Strowman, and just yelling because we got to go back and forth and doing things in situations. And then Sammy gets his match. That's the last 10 minutes, and then it happens, and somehow he was going to, and he lasted 10 minutes, even though the match shouldn't have lasted 10 minutes, because Strowman should have beat him like in 3 minutes. Should have done the same thing AJ Styles did to Ellsworth, just completely murk him. But no, he just toys with him.
Well, actually, what I think they should have done is they should have had Sammy put in more offense than he did. Play more defense. Of course, he'd get hit and get knocked down several times, and Braun would play with him.
Yeah, man. It's just, it's a bit of the, back and forth type of stuff. But you know what? I will say this about Sami Zayn, and it just feel like, Braun Strowman, it was just, it felt like it was like, I wanted a real clear winner and just have him just do the impossible and have him beat him, like a fluke roll-up or something. Like he hits him with the hula kick twice, and he hits these type of things, and then, do a roll. I don't like that time limit victory. It felt really is the hollowest of hollow victories. And that's like Sami Zayn, when he got to the main roster, that's this other noticeable victory. Him finally just quit beating up Kevin Owens, and then nothing, and then he just beats Braun Strowman by time limit.
Well,
And
yeah, he survives Braun Strowman basically, and the thing is about the Mick Foley thing. How did both those guys not get counted out? They were both outside for a good minute.
the plot said
A minute and a half. I mean, logically speaking, the ref should have been at 50 by the time they got back in the ring.
Then again, you will still have Strowman doing his whole running into the wall, which basically, he ran into the wall not once but twice, trying to get to Sami, and then Sami Zayn comes back into the ring and then hits him not once but twice with the haluva kick. That was the end of the match. And then they have a last man standing match, which I can't possibly wait to see what type of things there. And honestly, at this point, screw it. I want Strowman to actually win the Royal Rumble at this point because it would actually be a surprise. And he has been getting a lot of positive buzz. So honestly, at this point, because as much as I like the small guys and doing all this stuff, you need some big guys there to actually shake things up. Reigns is not going to do anything. Strowman, at this point, taking on, I don't know, Roman would actually be a pretty decent big guy smash-up fight.
Yeah,
even
even though Strowman out is much bigger than him and makes Roman look like a child, but
yeah, it would be really fun to see. And even still, at least get him the U.S. Championship or something. If Baylor is not,
I'd be fine with that.
If Finn Balor is not 100% by the Royal Rumble, I would say give Braun Strowman the shot to have him to do that. If Baylor is, then have him win the United States Championship, have him win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and have him dominate for an entire year, holding that U.S. title. For a good long while, and then Royal Rumble 2018 have him win it. That would probably be the best route for him if Baylor is not there, because the title scene needs to be shooken up. That's neat. That's what it is. And also another thing I am just looking at, Corbin. Honestly, I wish that this is the problem when you have a heel, the Intercontinental titles, picture and everything, is that you can't have him take that secondary belt, which The Miz has done well with that Intercontinental title. For a long period of time, he's actually building it up, especially on SmackDown, with that nice promo, with talking smack with Daniel Bryan and everything else. He has done well. And
he's actually in terms of performance in ring and on promos, he's done his best work in recent years, especially when it comes to being just completely insufferable.
Yes, and he has been the best at it.
He's essentially the top heel of WWE.
Yeah, pretty much. He's better than Owens because he actually likes the reactions. Owens just either he gets cheered or it's basically somewhat apathy, and that's, to me, should be not just for your main champion, but also when your top heels on your brand. He should be something. He should elicit a response. And if it's continue to be in the response, I'm like, no. I would personally, at this point, just trade Miz to Raw and have him win the Universal title. And that would be my one thing. But also, I'll just dump the Universal title and mix and make a championship that actually looks decent, and not have the stupid blue or red things. I don't care. Fine. You want to keep the penny belt, get rid of the penny belts, fine. But, in the Raw, just keep the color-coded stuff to maybe the tag titles, fine. You want to do that, fine. Knock yourself out. But when Shane O'Mac had that fake Universal title belt with the whole, what I'm talking about, with the whole atomic wrap and everything, when he was showing off on Twitter or Snapchat, I'm like, and that looks better than the real Universal title. Again, that means I have to go back into the drawing board. That's just me.
Oh no, that's fine. Honestly, in terms of Braun Strowman, I think he has at least enough because and talking about his thing with Sammy right now, I'd say Sammy needs Sammy needs to have momentum. I personally think he needs to have momentum. He needs to be the one that comes out on top, but just barely. And he has to, and the way he does it has to be like, everything. Like it takes, like say, pinning him with a forklift, and even then, and even then you have like say, you have it look like Braun's about ready to get out from under it, but it doesn't beat the 10 count. Like with Mick Foley did with Rock at the empty arena match they had. As far as Owens is concerned, in my opinion, Owens I think needs a retool as just a complete and utter monster. I mean, he needs to be a killer. Someone who will just straight up break someone in half for daring to be in the ring with him. Having that high, not just that high of an opinion, but just that kind of visceral reaction.
That's what Owens was in the Ring of Honor when when he was Kevin Steen, and Steve Corino had that thought on him, turned that type of bilious person. That was that nasty type of thing they could do. But now it just seems that they just made it so watered down and trying so hard to be.
Yeah, they turned up his snark almost to the point where they ripped off the button. And they put him with Jericho and like I said, that could have worked if Jericho had the belt and Kevin Owens was like his enforcer or something like that, and he's learning from him. But with Owens having the belt and Jericho being his best friend, and then Owens having to be saved from almost every match almost every title defense by Jericho.
Every single one.
Yes, every single one. He has to be saved by freaking roided out Bon Jovi over there. And it just makes him look absolutely weak.
Huh. Yeah, by the way, Vince Chan, are you saying anything? Is he still there?
I have myself muted because I'm fixing some coffee, and I don't know too much about the modern stuff that's going on with WWE because I kind of stopped keeping up with it.
Oh, well,
having no cable does that.
Well, there's other ways. I mean, there are no other ways, so I shouldn't have said that out loud. But anyway, but there's other wrestling stuff out there. To me, one of the best, and Rise to get some, but I will keep y'all entertained, was with Lucha Underground. If you haven't watched that, holy crap. You want to talk about a show that has legitimately, thinking about, Finch, have you ever watched like telenovelas and, those type of Spanish soap operas and such? Because
I was in a room with a Spanish-speaking patient.
You see those, but yeah, it's kind of like that, but with wrestling and a little bit of Mortal Kombat as well. It is. I
was about to say, if the moves are anything like what Rey Mysterio used to do.
Oh yeah, Rey Mysterio is actually on Lucha Underground. It is high flying move, and it's all done. They've done this all in 1 hour of television. They don't need 3 hours. They don't need 2 hours. They need one. Ridersbox back. I was talking to people about Lucha Underground, and let me tell you.
Oh yes, Lucha Underground.
What a year Lucha Underground has. I mean, you had probably one of the best matches on either like pro wrestling and such. Good character development, and the story elements are good, and it feels like everything matters on that show. And actually had a strong luchadores actually win a main championship there.
I know, a sexy star. Just all you have to say is sexy star. She is like a fantastic worker. She has a terrific storyline going for her, especially like at the beginning of season 2, I think it was, where she's trying to fight off Marty the Moth and his sister Mariposa, and culminating in the No Mas match, which I love. I love that match.
Oh yeah, I saw a bit of it, and it's brutal and bloody, and it was amazing. And then she won the Gift of the Gods Championship. She held it really well until the Worldwide Underground, Johnny Mundo, aka Johnny John Morrison, Johnny Nitro. I remember, I'm like the only dude that remembers that he actually called himself Johnny Nitro. To suck up to Eric Bischoff, and he had the actually Nitro theme, the old Nitro theme. I'm like,
oh my god.
God dang, you know.
That's fucking weak, man.
I was like, no. Well, they stopped it. It became this rock and roll, and him and Miz had a pretty good run as tag champions.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he became. But they built up this character, and then Aztec Warfare, which if you haven't seen Aztec Warfare, think the Royal Rumble, but actually a lot more fun, engaging. And they don't do eliminations by they're doing eliminations by just over the top.
No, not over the you don't pitch them over the top rope. You pin them or you make them tap.
Or you can break their arm.
Yeah. Or you break their arm,
Oh yeah.
You can go Pentagon Dark. Sure, why not?
Oh gosh. It is amazing.
And even with like the one episode featuring
the one episode featuring just nothing but I gotta say Patreon Dark is probably one of the most interesting and fun characters of Lucha Underground. He's the way he comes out, the way he has that look, the way he has everything centered around. He is honestly, he's like what's the good word? He's the mascot, the guy they actually, you will like say Lucha Underground. That's what you see Pentagon Dark. You're like, yeah, this guy does fit the show entirely. That's what Lucha Underground and Pentagon Dark is. Probably the best show was actually him and the four ninja ladies, the Black Lotus Triad. I gotta see who they were to really get their stuff. See the Black Lotus Triad, who honestly. Let's see. Let's see. Lotus Triad. Oh yes, there you are. Okay, just want to make sure because let's see the Black Lotus Triad. Oh man, that match. Jeez, you should really look at the Black Lotus Triad. Y'all should look that up. It was. The entire show was a entire show based on the the Black. Let's see, what is it? Led off with Angela Fong, who was actually was a ring announcer in ring announcer and backstage interview for WWE ECW and ring announcer at WWE NXT. Yeah, the WWE NXT, the not the NXT on Sci-Fi, but actually the one that was actually the Florida-based wrestling thing. And since then, she has gotten let's see, the other ones. She's a Tomi, who is not Sarai from she is a professional wrestler. She's actually really cool. She is actually the championships. She is a JWP 5th Junior All-Star Pro Photogenic Award, a one-time Pro Wrestling Wave TLW World Young Women's Tag Team Champion. You have, she has been a hugely accomplished female wrestler in Japan and all over the world. And she was kicking ass. She and the rest of the Black Lotus Triad were just, I have to say, to me, those characters alone were actually one of the best. That was probably the best, you could say one of the best episodes of Lucha Underground. And the ending proved to me, I was like, you will not see this in WWE because of the man and woman matches and such.
Yeah.
But it's the one thing I liked is that there was actually consequences to his to what Pentagon Dark. You look at his actions. He breaking people out. Now he lost not only one arm, but he lost two. With jacket, there's actually a consequence. When's the last time you actually saw consequences in pro wrestling that actually mattered?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you going around breaking people's arms. People are going to get pissed off, and they're going to fuck you up, especially if you do it in the temple.
Exactly.
I don't care if you have Cero Miedo, they're going to fuck your puta ass up.
Exactly. And sadly now we can't do that Ceramiento anymore. It's probably sitting there somewhere like with those two like arms like that. I just imagine that like him in a hospital somewhere with these two bandaged like broken arms, and he's still, I don't know how he still had that face paint on, by the way. Maybe someone's just painting him on for him, but I'm like,
yeah, I think it's like it's just having his nurse do it for him.
Exactly. Oh gosh, that would be. It's just it is a. I still say it is one of the best shows on TV. And by the way, I just recently saw like the ultimate the best of Texano, and I never.
Yeah, Tejano and Cage.
Yes,
yeah.
I barely knew Cage because I just got it. I finally got El Rey. And actually, the network's not that bad. Actually, I've actually sit back and watch some of the old the movies that come out. And funny enough, my mom actually watches it too.
Nice.
She hasn't watched Lucha Underground yet, but she has watched all the old movies. I don't know if I should introduce Lucha Underground to her. Like, oh, by the way, this is actually Black those Triad when they breaking this person's arm, and then have Pentagon Dark, and and that big dude with the with the alligator on his head. I'm like, well, I'll just wait and just like, no, that's not good to look to.
He just goes like, okay, see, this guy over here, he runs a temple that has a bunch of wrestlers in it, and then there's aliens from the future. There's Aztec gods. The mayor, there's like a mayor or something who's in the pocket of a demigod or something, who rides around in a limo. Let's see. There's also murderous siblings. There's snake tribes. There's There's dragons. There's demons from hell, and apparently someone got the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, pretty much. And and you can actually come back from death.
Because yes, you can come back from death because a 45-year-old vampire former pro wrestler says so.
Yes, that's how it works. And I can just see Finchan right now, just like looking at her coffee, just saying, "What the hell did I just drink at this point?" She's like,
well, really, I was looking at Fubu's Tumblr page because she's been posting quite a bit tonight. So.
Oh, well, God, look. Then again, I'm always, every time I worry going on Tumblr, I always worried I'm going to get some type of weird and horrible post that will just make me cry or just baloo the end of common sense. So I sit back. I gotta I have to know what Tumblr places to go, because if you go into the wrong place on Tumblr, you will go see things that even the most dark and depressed place in a temple is not scarier than the hell that is Tumblr. But that's why you find that part of you that feels depression and sympathy, and you shoot it in the face. Oh well, or punch. Maybe I should just punch it with that that nice little gauntlet that Cage now has. Oh yes. By the way, it's it looks like it is. Like it was a gauntlet. I'm like, wow. Well,
yeah.
I'm like, is that it? But now Cage now has this gauntlet, and then Texano, who honestly I never heard much of Texano, but dang, this dude is actually really good.
Oh yeah. I can at least safely say that in Lucha Underground, there's no really bad wrestlers. No one's really terrible. I should say no one's terrible. I mean, there are a few that are just absolutely fantastic. There are some that are great, some that are good, some that are just okay. But I have yet to see like any that were really just atrocious. Get them the hell off my screen bad.
Something like, say, for example, like in Eva Marie Bad or something like that.
Yeah, so someone Eva Marie Bad or Kurt Hawkins Bad or
hey, he has facts,
Yeah, or James Ellsworth Bad.
Only time I would accept James Ellsworth in the temple is someone ripped just have him as like his doofy head, like on carry his head on a just ripped his head off or something. Because I don't want to see him anywhere near it. No, I don't want to.
No. Yeah.
In fact, that would be interesting. Well, the rest of honestly, I would actually see. Maybe it's like someone like Roman Reigns or maybe Bray Wyatt. They would actually fit in pretty well in the temple.
Yeah. Hell, Braun. I mean, could you imagine like Braun Strowman in the temple, or say like going up against like Mil Muertes or Cage?
That would be actually. I honestly think probably wishes that Rusev after all the crap WWE's done, I'm like, you know what? I'm good. It just rolls out, and him and Lana go to the temple where he can just go out and crazy and just like him and Matanza, him and Cage, him and Texana. I'm like, dude, those are matches you can be great, and he actually be treated as actually a star instead of just dude that could be a big star and just be in these stupid moronic storylines.
Yeah.
And you just sit there and you wonder why this person is here. You just sit there and you wonder.
Yeah, and they almost always involve love triangles with his wife, or in this case, accidental nudity leads to a guy hitting on a married woman to try and cover up his bravado, and then getting his ass beat, and then them inviting the same guy to their hotel room to try and trick him into getting beat up, and he starts to say no, he tries to back out, they beat him up anyway, and strip him to his shorts and leave him out in the hallway. And then you got the sensitivity training bullshit.
And how does this not get the Gooker 2016?
Yeah, and it's like nobody looks good here. Nobody looks good except for maybe Cass.
Yeah, maybe Rusev. Rusev maybe, because he's kicking ass at least. At least but that's the low point. Well, that sadly is the kind of low point. But I would say, we talked about TNA, we talked about Lucha Underground, we talked about WWE, but there's also another one. There's many others. I mean, there's PWG, which I haven't seen much of. I've seen a little bit of Ring of Honor, and I've watched that for a while. I was getting sick of Jay Lethal. I don't know. He was. I mean, to me, did you see any Ring of Honor this year, Jeff? Because
I have. I just don't remember a whole lot of it.
And I saw a bit of it, and to me, it was just 2014 all over again. They did not progress any of the characters, and you wonder why guys like, the Miracle Mike Bennett, who, Mike Bennett or ACH, or Cedric Alexander, who looks actually very, he actually looks really happy being in the cruiserweight, even though I feel like he should not be just in the cruiserweight division. I honestly think he should just leave the cruiserweights. Get traded to SmackDown, and him be the one to dethrone Miz. That's what I believe. Call me nuts, but I think he should be the one. 1, 2, 3 beats the Miz for the Intercontinental title, and after that, and other people, Moose, man, that dude should be the TV champ. I have world champion right now in Ring of Honor. That dude should be This dude should be the biggest star in WWE. You know what I mean, Jeff? Don't you think that Moose should have been the next step up in Ring of Honor? Shouldn't he be like the TV champion at this point?
He has the tools for it. He absolutely should have been. He should have at least held a title. He should have gotten the TV title. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it is something very, something I really hope that he has been doing well with the Grand Championship, beating up people, looking like a monster. I hope it's someone like Braun Strowman is with the U.S. title, but I want Ring of Honor to grow and become actually a real good organization. I want it to be something positive. I want it to be something that, wow, I want to sit back and say, Ring of Honor has actually grown instead of being this regressed place where New Japan wrestlers could have this all-star fight and such. I want it to actually mean something.
Yeah, where it's more than just, oh look, here come the Young Bucks to bury another one of our teams.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, I'm hopeful. That's what I am. I'm hopeful that will be better in the years 2017. More places the wrestlers can go to actually have more of actually have more chances to exposure.
Yeah. If I can say something about the cruiserweights in WWE real quick.
Oh, I should have. Oh, the cruiserweights. We should go and bash them for a while.
Oh no. I want to give one. I want to give one bit of praise. Jack Gallagher.
Oh yes, I that dude right there, and I'm like, this is a guy should be actually in the main roster. Not in the main roster, but also should not be. It's just like it's just mired. He should not be mired in the cruiserweights. I'm like, that's should not. He should be in a main roster. I mean, if he's not going to be someone, I would like him to basically be the one, for Miz or someone like that. I mean, someone who can be that type of outstanding character because he gets it. He's he's actually a character, but he can wrestle, but also he's a character.
Yes, he is exactly what I think should embody a WWE wrestler. Someone, like you said, who has an outstanding kind of outlandish character, but can also go in the ring. Someone who's good at wrestling. It's not like the old days where you could put on a hammerlock or a wrist lock, shake your hips a couple times and then call it a day. And it's not just people with no personalities, just wrestling 5-star quality technical matches, which are great, but in terms of like emotional investment, there's not a whole lot there. And you see that with the cruiserweights, with the majority of the cruiserweights, and from what I've seen, like the crowd will get behind somebody that they can. That has a character to them, that has like something they can latch on to. I mean, if you're just going out there and saying I'm the best guy who can do flippy shit, I mean, okay, great, but you go out there with what Gallagher has. It's like the extraordinary gentleman with the bow ties and the mustache and the hair that never comes out of place, and is like skin of mayonnaise and stuff, but it just I'm tripping over my words here, but I love the character work this guy does, especially with the duel he had with Daivari. That
was to me was really good.
It was better than any segment on Raw,
which is not hard to do, but fans, you really would like Jack Gallagher. He would basically you would be like, wow, you would actually sit and actually watch a Monday Night Raw, because I'll probably give y'all a link to see the cruiserweight the duel, because that was great. Oh, yeah. Also, another thing is that my hope is that the cruiserweights actually drop the whole purple tapes and actually have them compete with other wrestlers, have them compete with other guys and in the roster, something like that.
Well, they've somewhat done that in NXT, but
but
it's NXT.
Yeah, again, let's let them be not now segregated, the cruiserweight division. Less segregation, more integration. I really have to say that more, but yes, integration. Let them have their whole thing, and yes, that might have a risk of them being squashed, but you know what? Fine, so be it. Let them have their matches with these guys. I want to see Jack Gallagher take on, say, maybe look at Kevin Owens or something like that. Let have Daivari step up to Roman Reigns, or have like I said,
have Noam Dar step up to Sheamus, or Neville get back in have Neville get back in the game. I mean, especially with his turn at Roadblock. Neville's become a lot more interesting now.
Other than his whole anti-American discrimination thing, which I'm just rolling my eyes at, but at least he's convincing. He's trying to get this stuff into now, and I'm like, dude, the only person who really held you back was the main office. Wasn't the fans. Everything else. I'm like,
well, they'll never say that.
But and honestly, I honestly wish they could have just rolled with the whole him being this they were cheering "Thank you, Neville" to after that whole the match. I'm like, why not roll into it? Why didn't just say, you know what? The reason why they cheered for me, the reason why because I actually could do the one thing that these cruiserweights can't. Other these cruiserweights, especially that dancing fool out there, do. I can actually entertain and kick ass. So why don't that man who says who can't handle this or whatever? I am better than you. I'm better than loser Kendrick. They're better than T.J. Perkins, and then you can build up. It's like him being like kind of like Corbin-ish, like lone wolf type of thing. Him basically being that type of. Because again, him basically being the whole man, oh my gosh, his whole old school mentor. We had that with Kendrick and Perkins, and that thing went over like a lead balloon. No one cared, especially with those stupid video game references that T.J. Perkins had. It's like I still can't believe he said I watched video. I don't believe it. I'm like
it's like
he stepped back and said. You remember you Kendrick? Remember when when my N64 busted? What'd you do? Went to GameStop, and you bought me another one. I'm like, is this all wrong? Did I just get punked? Am I watching some fan thing from like something from Channel Also or something like that, or anything else? Am I being? This can't not be happening. This dialogue cannot be here on a national television. I'm like.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we get it. You like video games. I like video games, but it's not like the entirety of my person,
Exactly. It is something else. It's just, okay, fine. You had this wrestling is one-dimensional, fine. One-dimensional wrestling, that sort of thing. But come on now. Come on. If you could do more. With that whole, they could do something interesting instead of him being this. Well, I like video games and stuff like that. I'm like, where is this guy from? That charismatic, cocky, prick from the CWC. Where was that guy?
Yeah, and on top of that, it's like, oh yeah, I just want to come out here and do the best I can, and get a whole bunch of respect from everybody. Like, no.
It was the literal I'm happy to be here, which I am sick of that character. I'm sick of that trope. I'm sick of that in every single time of these wrestlers come from Raw, SmackDown. Ellsworth is basically that. That was his entire character. He's legitimately happy to be here. Sami Zayn, after his whole feud with Kevin Owens, happy to be here. I'm tired of that just being the default setting. It should be something else. Why are you here? Are you getting championships? Everything else. Hell,
are you going to make a name for yourself?
Yes. How about Sami Zayn? I really wish if I was actually booking or writing, have Sami Zayn, lose to Strowman or whatever, and that type of thing. Fine. And Roman Reigns turns heel or something like that. Later on, you can have a nice little promo or something like that. And say that, why are you here? They can have Sami say, the reason why I'm here because I want to fight this cynicism that is affecting wrestling today. That cynicism that affecting fans and everything else trying to be like this cool guy, but yet they're not. That reason that should be that could be something you call it. That should be something good if you really sit there and actually have that type of thing. Because I think Sami, without yelling and screaming, can deliver a promo like that. Instead, they won't do something like that. And they'll just say he's happy to be here. No. You want to be happy to be here, but give him a reason to win championships, give him titles. This is something else. Yeah. I mean, that sort of thing.
Being happy to be there is not a reason why you're there. That doesn't explain why you're there. It's not a reason. Saying you're happy to be there, it's just like saying, hey, I'm happy to be at this McDonald's. Why are you here? I'll just have a number 4, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to give them something tangible. You have to give them some kind of motivation to go out there and nearly kill themselves working these matches night after night.
Well, my hope in 2017 is that they start addressing that issue and actually looking more into and becoming more like, you know what? Let us build up to this scale. Let's build up these the characters and everything around
Mm-hmm.
us, and that's how you become better. That's how that's how shows get better. And any type of show or storyline, that's how they get better. That's how they all become better, ladies and gentlemen. Is how they become better is because of planning, and actually you sit there, you're like, man, man, I really want to get this, to really build up the character, build up the storylines and everything else. I mean, sure, I look at, say, the CW DC series. Sure, they had their mistakes. I mean, for example, the Flash has become, I think, National Radio Dead Air said it best. It just became the Damn It Barry show, which
I can't even argue with that because of recent because especially of the season premiere.
Yeah,
and just like
yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm hopeful that the movie Flash actually is, and like my hope is actually, I don't care what the costume. I want him to be at least someone has to have common sense. That's all I'm asking. Because if he does, I'm like, I don't care what his costume look like, but he's the best Flash at this point. Because if he actually like common sense and actually deals with the consequences he is with what they're doing and such.
Well, the thing is, Barry is sort of he is dealing with the consequences of what happened. I mean, especially considering that they had the invasion tie into it. They had Savitar's tied into it, Dr. Alchemy and all that stuff. And especially the stuff with Cisco and everything that happened with that. I mean, it's a bit piecemeal, but there are repercussions from Flashpoint. But that's neither being here nor there.
Yeah, that's what it is. But again, I want the WE and TNA, Ring of Honor, or other wrestlers to actually get more into that. I want to actually see more of the consequences and more of the reason. I mean, to me, what I hate about watching Raw is that one segment you have Triple H or Stephanie being completely, utterly, just completely villainous, manipulative, horrible people. But yet, the next segment they're doing this nice charity stuff. I'm like, no. It's just give me consistent characters. Give me consistent characters. Give me, if you're gonna be a charity stuff, then don't be a villain on TV. Don't be a villain on this this huge episode television. Personally, I wouldn't mind if Stephanie, the entire McMahon stuff goes away entirely. I wish the brand split would still be here, but I'm just saying, make the show about the wrestlers, which is to me the forefront, which I do like what TNA has done. The show is basically majority wrestler base, same as Ring of Honor and same as Lucha Underground for the most part. That's what I think WWE should be. And that should be the wrestlers are the main star. The wrestlers should be the main stars.
No, you're right. You're right. They and they have been a little bit better at that. A little bit. They'll have like the occasional Daniel Bryan segment, but other than that, you're right. SmackDown. They have a little bit more trouble with it on Raw, of course, because it's Raw. The thing about like them doing charity work and stuff like that, it's like that's real world stuff, and they have. It's one of those things where they have to balance, because wrestling's a performance. It is. It's scripted. It's choreographed. It's a show. So and the thing is, you can't really hold, if you try and hold them to that kind of standard for them to be villains, both in and out of wrestling, then you might as well have, like, say, then you might as well have like conflicts of interest all over the place, because you'd be asking actors who play villains in other places to act like douches all the time, because that's the logical endpoint of that. I mean, I could see I could see, because they're using exaggerated versions of themselves where that might seem a little bit more feasible, but at the end of the day, they have to put out a good public image, and of course, it's a big company, they donate to charity, and it's just what big companies do.
Yeah, but I just like, if you're gonna have these villainous characters, I mean, if you want to do that stuff, can you not do it like have to step it back to back and on the show this stuff? I really wish that they just go away. I personally, maybe it's my heart, I just want the McMahon's, Stephanie, and
no, I want them gone too.
I want them gone. I'm just tired of them. I'm tired of McMahon's
too.
Mm-hmm. The ratings gone down. The show has. I mean, honestly, at this point, I think the McMahons need to go. Part of me wishes that I don't care how this sounds. I wish Disney would have bought them. I wish Disney would buy WWE, and just it seems cruel, but just get the McMahons out. At least put them in like in a window role, because it's just like they don't know what they're doing anymore. They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, they've fallen back on too much of the old ways of doing things to get themselves out of a rut. Now that you bring up, like, them being villains in one segment and donating to charity next, I would actually like to sort of see them in full heel mode, going to a charity and saying like, yeah, I had to donate this stuff. It says we'll get a great tax break if we donate to this place for kids with cancer.
Well, that'd be actually interesting, but you're not going to have something like that. So,
oh no, of course not.
All right, guys, I got to get going because I got to go pick up my mom.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
think we need to wrap up too. So we've been talking.
Mm-hmm.
And leave something in the comments below if you want to see what was your best moment in 2016 of wrestling. Because again, I think to me, by far is the Broken Matt Hardy stuff.
Yeah.
I was about to say 2016 can go die in a fire as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think your picture shows it perfectly.
Yeah. I think we can see how you feel about it.
You should see the video about dying in a fire. There you go.
Mm.
Oh gosh, so good plugging. But 2016 was a interesting year. And write down, people, what is your look? Was the good things, the bad stuff of 2016, and we will see y'all hopefully in 2017 with interesting content and whatever. Anyway, this is Dixie T here.
All right. Fins.
And Writer's Block.
And we are gone. See y'all later. Peace.
See you later.
Goodbye.